Hello, everyone, and welcome to this month's Veeam 100 show. My name is Safiya Mohamed, and I'm a community analyst here at Veeam Software. I'm very excited. I'm joined today by my co-host, Kirsten Stoner, and our very special guest, Veeam Vanguard, Lukas Klostermann. How are you both doing today?
I'm very good, thank you. Kirsten, please go ahead.
We're both doing great. We're both excited to be here. As you can say, we're just jumping at the bit to get started.
Yeah, just so excited.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Well, it is already November, which is crazy to believe, and it is our 20th Veeam 100 show today. So for our audience, if you're not familiar with the Veeam 100 show, this is a monthly show that we host here on Veeam social networks. We bring in our community rock stars, our vanguards, our legends, our Veeam MVPs to showcase a project that they're passionate about sharing with the community. You might already know Lukas, but he's already been on a show before. But Lukas, please reintroduce yourself to the audience if this is their first time meeting you.
Yes, thank you, Safiya. So my name is Lukas Klostermann. As you might have already mentioned, I'm based in Germany. I'm working as a senior consultant in backup and recovery, and I'm both a Veeam Vanguard and the Veeam cybersecurity space user group leader. So basically, I'm trying to get a foot into cybersecurity and combine this with Veeam software products and processes.
Yeah, and Kirsten?
Hi, everyone. I'm Kirsten. I might look semi-familiar to you all because I've been on these tech bites before, and I've done a couple Veeam 100 shows. I'm on the product strategy team here at Veeam. I've worked with the community ever since I started at Veeam, so I always love learning from our community, answering any type of questions, and providing any type of technical support or technical information about our products to them. It's always a really nice time hanging out with them and doing presentations like this with them. And today I'm super excited to talk more about and learn more about from Lukas and how he's really taking Windows servers and making them meet our security baselines for our organizations.
Amazing. So, Lukas, I did want to mention this is your first time being in the Veeam 100 program as a Vanguard, but you've already been super active in the community, which is amazing. Can you tell us what brought you into the community? Were you involved in other technical communities before?
I wasn't actually, but you can, I think, learn the most from other people. So you sometimes have to go different paths. You sometimes have to step away from official paths and get to know different approaches, different people. And that's what the community is about. So I do have many connections into like German Vanguard communities. So the VBR together with two other guys from Germany who are both in the Veeam 100. And I get to know many people at Veeam as well. So I think it's really exciting to both get to know people and get to know the technology even deeper using the community and the community tools.
Absolutely. And the German community, I'm sure Kirsten also knows, is very strong in Veeam. So it's a great group to learn from and to lean on. Amazing. What's been your favorite part of being in the Veeam community so far?
Oh, that's really hard to declare a specific thing. I think visiting the Veeam 100 Summit in Prague to get to know all the other Vanguards, MVPs, and legends, but also just being recognized as a Vanguard and getting the opportunity to host the Veeam 100 show. So basically, that's I think it goes down to Prague or to the Veeam 100 Summit, Prague and Berlin, something like that. Yeah,
I know.
Definitely.
And we're fresh off of the Veeam 100 Summit. For those that don't
That's
know,
right.
we were actually all in Prague last week, which is crazy, right, Kirsten? I mean, it was incredible. And to see everyone, I feel like it was like the largest group we might have ever had. We had a group picture together, and there were so many layers of people, you could barely fit everyone inside. But it was incredible to see everyone and gather. And it embodied the essence of community and why it's so special.
And especially if it's the first one. So it was my first Veeam 100 Summit and was really exciting. Can 100% agree.
Yeah, and hopefully more people from that will get involved in the community, and hopefully we'll see them there next year. Definitely. But people came for this discussion, Veeam Windows hardening. So I would let you and Kirsten take it away with today's talk.
Yes. So thank you. I have prepared a small agenda for the next around 25 to 30 minutes. So that was the wrong way. So actually, back to the beginning. what is that Windows Veeam hardening script some people are talking about. I've prepared a timeline to get things in order. And as you might have noticed, on Monday, November 10th, I released the version 1.2 of the Veeam Windows hardening script. I would like to give some deeper insights. I also published an antivirus exclusion script that's coming alongside with the hardening script. And I prepared a live demo, so fingers crossed everything's working. And as you might have already seen in the Veeam UI, there is the Veeam Security Analyzer script, which I'd like to bring in context in this scenario. And we are a community, so I do have some plans and requests for the future. So I'd like to point that to your attention as well. So first of all, back to the beginning. So what am I talking about? I'm working in the field with Veeam software for quite 8 years, something like that. And I figured out that multiple projects required Windows servers to be hardened before using Veeam software with that. So every customer got a slightly different configuration, which makes it challenging to follow a certain standard. And as you might have recognized, last year, there was a Veeam user group meetup in Germany, in Munich, in November 2024. And I made it my challenge, and I announced the first version of that hardening script on that Veeam user group event. And I made it to the release of version 1.0 on December 16, 2024. So about a month after, like, let's say 6 to 7 weeks after that event, I published the first version. So what is that? Basically, I dived through the CIS benchmark of Windows Server 2022 because that was the standard by the time. I automated the local account creation because I'm a guy who's working with service accounts and all that stuff we already do for Active Directory. And I created an output file because you need to have any proof of what you did and what worked and what potentially might not have worked. So that's the thing. Let's have a quick look on the timeline because we're already at version 1.2. I published 5 scripts in total, 5 different approaches. So on December 16, the first version got published. That was the initial release. So I deep dived through CIS for Windows Server 2022. I applied more than 90 policies to the local Windows server. I ran through more than 960 pages of documentation, and I tried to perform any kind of automation for service account and admin account creation. With that done, I had to further develop the script. Version 1.1 was released on March 6, 2025, so around half a year ago. I did the first tests for Windows Server 2025. I added an NTP server prompt because simply from my field experience, I always forgot to add NTP servers to the infrastructure or to the Windows server. I disabled auto mount because I think it's up to 99% install Veeam backend replication into virtual machines. So I can disable auto mount from my experience. I corrected some typos and some layout issues, which ran into version 1.0, and I added prompts for multiple admins and service accounts because especially for Veeam 1, I like to use at least 2 service accounts. So I put that into perspective. I'm a guy who's likely to use PAWs, privileged access workstations. So in simple words, a jump station dedicated to Veeam software, to the Veeam systems the customer is using. So on May 28, 2025, I shortened the basic script, the version 1.1, and made it ready to apply on PAWs. So basically I removed the idle timeout because there is an idle timeout of 15 minutes, which is a CIS recommendation for non-domain joined systems. I removed that and did small corrections to the script because on a jump host, you don't actually need the timeout in the Windows session because you do have a timeout in the Veeam consoles. So basically you're good to go. And And someone in the community, I honestly can't remember who did it, but someone brought to my attention that there could be another approach, because you will have antivirus exclusions you have to apply to those systems, to those local Windows servers, in order to get correct performance values and in order to let things work smoothly. So what I did is I created a second script. I didn't want to mix up the scripts and the approaches. So on August 7, 2025, that's not very long ago, I made the initial release of an antivirus script, version 1.0 for Veeam servers. So I tried to put as much effort into it as possible. So the script is checking if the Defender firewall is activated or disabled. In case it's disabled, it activates it. Same for the Defender antivirus, which is installed by default. And I was working with dynamic process exclusions and dynamic extension exclusions. I will come to that in a second, so don't worry. And this is the first, and currently it's the only version of that script, and it's running smoothly as far as I got feedback from the community. So going back to Monday this week, on November 10, 2025, I finally, after a few months, released the most current version, the version 1.2 of that script. So what I did, because finally it's published, I deep dived through the CIS benchmark for Windows Server 2025 in the version 1.0. That's currently the most current version available. I added an installation type prompt because there are so many installations in the field. I think for myself installed like 8 or 9 systems or 8 or 9 projects with that script in use. So customers want to not rerun the script and recreate the service accounts. They simply want to reapply the new and changed rules and the policies that script sets. So I added an installation type prompt to choose if you have a new installation or an existing installation to just apply the new policies. I also added a prompt for that recovery partition removal, because there were some discussions with colleagues, with customers. So I simply added a prompt to let the users choose, and I edited, and I think that's a default thing for changes. I added the layout, some typos, and all that stuff. And on the same day, because I like to make things more easy for customers and for users, I simply released the PAW script. So I did both on the same day, released both on the same day by removing the idle time mode once again and all that stuff. And here we are. 1.2 is the most current version of the script. Let's have a little deeper dive into that script. The slogan says far more than just Windows hardening, because I don't only apply hardening scripts, as you will see in the live demo in just a few moments. So first of all, I added CIS-based policies for Windows Server 2025, such as SMB server policies, SMB client policies, LAN-man server policies, NTLM policies, NTLM restrictions, TLS policies, and much more. You can, please feel free to read the README file, because there is every single rule explained that I applied. It's just a selection of the CIS benchmark, because the CIS benchmark, for those of you who don't know, it tells a lot of recommendations for domain zone systems as well. And I explicitly designed this script for standalone, so for workgroup joint systems. I also, as already said, added a prompt to let users select between new and existing installations. And I added a prompt to let users select if the recovery partition, which is, I think, default since Windows Server 2022, shall be deleted or kept. And as I said, I optimized descriptions and removed some typos and all that stuff.
Lukas, so, with all this development with this script, how does this script balance the ease of implementation with the depth of the CIS compliance, especially in environments that are already configured or domain joined?
I think it's a huge difference when you have domain joined systems. To start with that, because when you have a domain joined system, you have a domain. So you have, hopefully it's a management domain or disaster recovery domain. You have to keep in mind that you have to perform those hardening on the domain controllers as well, because this script is designed to run locally. And if you apply local policies, it's very likely that the domain controller will override, using GPOs and all that stuff, will override the policies set by the script. So this is a different approach, in my opinion. So I explicitly designed this for local installations, but I tried this once for a domain and it reset some policies after a few minutes.
Okay.
So that's the thing. And the general approach and the idea behind that is I would like to have a standard. So I'd like to achieve a certain standard to always have the same policies implemented, to always have the same status implemented. So the best is to have a new clean installation of Windows Server 2022, 2025, or 2019, and you have a local system, non-domain join, and then you run the script after you did some steps like setting host names, setting IP addresses, and then you're good to go, because then you have simply a very, very standardized policy set that's going to be applied, and nobody will override this like a domain controller or anything like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. All right. So I've been talking about an antivirus exclusion script, and I know there are some scripts in the community which are very, very good as well, but I tried to figure out this myself because I like to let users select certain things within the script, as you will see in just a few seconds in the live demo. So a second script, the script basically checks if the Windows Defender firewall is enabled or disabled. So it enables it in case if it's disabled. Same for the Windows Defender antivirus. And I added folder exclusions as per Veeam knowledge base articles. And I added process exclusions, folder exclusions, process exclusions, and extension exclusions as per Veeam knowledge base articles, and it's dynamically. So what does that mean? Basically, Veeam creates folders on C program files. So the script is looking for every executable file in that folder and adds it as an exclusion to the antivirus and to the Defender firewall. So in case Veeam updates the executables in that folders, you don't have, or I don't have to alter the script and to update the script, because this is the dynamic approach I chose to make sure that every component Veeam supplies will work and will be handled by the script. And last but not least, and this is also based on a knowledge base article, I added firewall rules to the Windows Defender firewall, and as in the main script, I just created the output file. So again, the dynamic folder scan just simply scans the folders and looks for executables and puts them into the exclusion list. So,
Lukas,
yes, please.
We do have a question from the audience, from David. Yes. He asks, will SysPrep reset these policies?
Yes, it will do. I'm not quite sure which policies because I didn't test it yet with 2025. But in case you use, for example, with vSphere, SysPrep, just rerun the script afterwards. Or just, it's the better approach, just run it after the SysPrep. So you're good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Since you've run this script now probably in many different types of environments,
yeah.
How much time or effort does this exclusion script save compared to manually having to apply all these exclusions?
Oh, that's a good question, because if you are quick, you will only take like 2 days to implement over 100 policies manually on a Windows server and on multiple servers, so like repository servers, VBR servers, VB365, and whatever you have in your infrastructure. And the script, you will see that in just a minute, runs in like 30 seconds. So I'm used to it. I try to slow down during the demo, but if you know what to do and if you're familiar with the script, it takes around a minute from start to finish. So it just saves a lot of time. That's
awesome.
the main thing. Yeah. Just a hint, the dynamic exclusions are not set for VB365 and Veeam 1 because it's slightly different. The knowledge base articles are slightly different. So in this case, I just applied the exclusions as per Veeam knowledge base article. And that's the thing. So with that said, I'd like to dive into the live demo. I've prepared a Windows Server 2025. And basically the idea is to have a freshly installed Windows Server. You have to set the host name, you have to install the Windows updates, you have to give it an IP address. So let's dive into the demo.
So as well, we're at an event this week, and AI is like the topic of conversation these days. It's topic of conversation here, it's topic of conversation at any type of event we're at. So did you utilize any AI to help develop this script, Lukas?
Yes, I certainly did. So you can try, and I've tried this as well, to be honest. You can simply try to put in a prompt like, give me a hardening script for Windows into any AI you want. I think the output isn't what you're looking for. So I just used AI on different occasions. First of all, I collected all the knowledge base articles I'd like to go through, and I had to go through to make sure that the script and the settings are compatible with the Veeam software stack. I used AI to just collect all this information and to output the most important things. The second prompt, or the second aspect, is that I gave a PowerShell, let's call it template, to the AI and just worked with blocks. So there was one block for like adding registry keys. There was one block for like adding service accounts and local accounts, local security policies. So I just had snippets of the PowerShell code, and I just tried to scale it using the AI. And I used the AI, and that's the third thing, to basically research on errors. So in case I ran into errors, and I did this a lot, I think the first version of the script had like 0.17 versions until the version 1.0 was released and stable. So I just used the script and used the flow of the AI to troubleshoot issues during the coding phase, and that's basically it. So I think it's not that simple to just put in a single command, but if you know what to do and if you basically know how the AI works, you are good to go, and it can make life just more easy, definitely.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, thank you. So let's go into the live demo. So fingers crossed. What I did in order to prepare this, I created, and you can see this in the GitHub and in the README file as well, I created a folder called install on my local disk C, and I put all those scripts, including the ntwrites.executable, into that folder. So let's go. Let's just see. I switch into that. I ran the PowerShell as an administrator. That's very important. So let's see. We're running the Windows hardening script first. So now you get a prompt, and you can choose between a new installation and an existing installation. And as I said, the existing installation simply skips the account creation. So we have a new installation. I haven't done anything here yet. So let's see. You get a prompt, enter the new local administrator username. So ADM local, for example. I have to enter a password, which I will do. And I get a prompt, do you want to create another local admin? I don't want to do this right now, so let's skip this. Then the next prompt is enter the new service account username, like this, for example. I need a password. And since this is a service account locally created, I need a description. And I'm a kind of guy who's paying attention to descriptions a lot. So Veeam service account, for example. So do you want to create another service account? No, I don't want to do this yet. So I need to enter a password for the built-in administrator, because the built-in administrator will be disabled after the script runs through. And why is that? Because it has a well-known SID, the SID 500, and we know that attackers have this kind of information. So the approach is to disable the account and to set a password. just to be extra safe. With that done, and that's what I said, I always forgot to set NTP or NTS service. As I think Hannes mentioned multiple times regarding the Veeam hard repository ISO, you have to, or you should use NTS service. I will do this. I will use a public one, time.google.com. You can use others, like local ones, just without a space between the selections, but I'm good to go with time.google.com. And now the script basically does its magic. So all the policies will get applied primarily by registry keys, because it's the most easy approach and the most stable approach, in my opinion. And now I get the prompt to choose whether the recovery petition should be deleted or not. I would like to do this. And the recommended, as you can see here, that's a personal recommendation from myself. So let's do this. And you can see the Windows recovery environment, the service will be disabled. That's pretty important to not cause any issues on the Windows system and on the stability of the Windows system. So it takes quite a few seconds. It even adds the freed space to the local drive C. And as you can see, the script's finished. Total runtime is 2 minutes, 37 seconds. And we will be signed out in 30 seconds. Just as you can see, here's the output file. So this one will kick me out in just a few seconds. But that is the hardening script. And let's hopefully hop onto the second script, the antivirus script. That's even more easy in my opinion. So I will run PowerShell as an administrator. Just the same system. I don't want to wait for the server to come back online. So Veeam antivirus script version 1.0. And I'm pretty sure that this won't work right now because I don't have Veeam software on this server. But you can see that you can select between 11 components and the exit as well. So in case you select any of those, the script will set all the policies, all the exclusions automatically. You can run the script once and select multiple software stacks. So you can use Veeam Backup Server, you can use Veeam Proxy Server, just one after the other. So in case you have like Veeam Backup Server, you let this run through, it takes only a few seconds, and then you can rerun the script. But you don't have to like open it again. It will just return to this selection screen, and then you can choose another software component. And when you're done with everything, you just hit 0, and that exits the script. I recommend a reboot after that, but it's not necessarily recommendation. It's not necessary at all. But I do this all the time. So it worked out. I'm pretty happy. So that's all I'd like to show, because it's nothing more. It's easy as that. So hopefully this is something the community will be using quite a lot more. I get a lot of feedback on that. So let's go back to the presentation.
Awesome. And we do have some, not a question, but a feedback from the audience. Mike, he said, these are smart and mature cybersecurity procedures. So.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to make things easy, because I'm an IT guy. I like easy things because it saves time and it saves effort as well. So I'm in the field. I run multiple installations a week. So my approach is to have a standard that the customers and the environments can fulfill. So let's go back to the presentation. That was it for the live demo. And let's pretty quickly go to the Veeam Security Analyzer script. You might have noticed that in the Veeam user interface, it's in the upper corner. And it's not only to check the status. There is actually an executable script, the PowerShell script, available for download in the community. And basically, it's the official Veeam supported tool for security baseline analysis. And it's an automation of configuration checks against best practices. That's the thing in the UI. And you can, it's an automated and even scheduled report in the UI. And there is a script, as I said, available for download. So with that.
So would you
yes,
say,
please.
Lukas, that customers should also use both scripts, take advantage of the Veeam Security Analyzer script, and then also your Windows hardening script?
Yes, please do. So my script covers a large area because I'm the kind of guy who wants to secure the operating system underneath the Windows, the Veeam software stack. So this script has some defaults, and the script does even more than just setting some policies, because you during the check you will see like if a 3-2-1-1-0 rule is applied or is not applied, if you run like Veeam hard repositories, VHRs on virtual soft or virtual servers or not. So it does a lot more. So my recommendation is run my script first to prepare the Windows server, then install the Veeam software stack, and then using the checks in the UI, just run the Veeam security analyzer script. Then you should be good to go, because then every policy is set as it should be.
Yeah, nice. It's like security in 5 minutes, right?
It should be, and that's the approach. So I think I have, like, as I said, 8 to 9 installations in the field using that exact approach for every Windows component. So repository, proxy, VBR server, VB365. So I think it saves a lot of time, and that's what like every IT guy is looking for, in my opinion. So yeah. Awesome, thank you. So the future plans, what can help you to perform implementations more efficient? So I will be, fingers crossed, I find the time, but I did in the past. So my goal is to work with that script and to continue developing that script as long as Veeam supports Windows OS as an operating system underneath the software. So what I did in the past, and I will do this in the future as well, is adding multiple functions as per community request. And I'm always happy to gather feedback from the community on issues or on feature requests. And you guys did this a lot. I'm very grateful for that. So please don't stop reaching out to me on the Community Hub, on LinkedIn, on the private message stack, on the Community Hub. So just feel free. And as you might have noticed, I will use this cybersecurity space forum as a feedback channel. So I post every script and every update on the script on that channel, on the LinkedIn as well, but I always refer to the Community Hub. And with that said, please just feel free to scan the QR code. I know this is a security-based session, but you can trust me, the QR codes are simply pointing to the cybersecurity space, to the GitHub repositories, and the GitHub repositories will have both scripts available for download, including your README. And you can feel free to add me on LinkedIn and to visit my blog for some like README files and some deeper insights on what I do and on what those scripts do. So please reach out in case of questions, in case of future requests. I'm happy to receive feedback. I already have some feedback for version 1.1 of the antivirus script. So let's see when I find the time to release that, but I'm already preparing that. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Lukas. We have a question that just came in from Lars. Would this
please.
script be tested and mature enough to go for production repository, or would it be preferred to new installations?
I prefer new installations. I designed the version 1.2 to let the script run on existing installations, but I can't guarantee that it's working stable because every customer has different environments, different settings. I primarily designed that prompt to have existing installations supported for systems that saw any previous version of this script, so of my particular script. But I have like, I think 1 or 2 customers who were playing around with an existing installation that didn't see my script and run the existing installation option without any issues. But that's on your own risk, which the script is in general, just to point that out.
Great, thank you. And so many ways to connect with Lukas and figure out what's next. But Lukas, you might have a special announcement to make on this show of what's coming next for you in the next few weeks. Would you like to share?
Yes, that's very true. So I'm very, very happy to share that I will be starting at a company called Veeam Software as an enterprise architect in just a few weeks. So I will be joining Veeam on December 1st, and I will just I'm very happy to call you guys my colleagues, and I'm very happy to continue the journey of data resilience, data recovery, and backup alongside with Veeam. So I'm very happy to share that I will be joining Veeam in just a few weeks.
Yay,
So
we're happy to have you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you're in the German-speaking ecosystem, you'll definitely probably be seeing a lot of Lukas soon. But he won't be disappearing from the community. We're going to make him an MVP, which is our internal community program. We definitely want him back in the community for next year in our Veeam 100 program. I do want to call out one more comment about the community from Ahmed on YouTube. And for anyone who's curious about the community, how do I get involved? I watch the show. The community sounds interesting. Join us on the Veeam Community Hub, community.veeam.com. You could also find it with that first QR code that Lukas shared for the cybersecurity space on the screen. You can find out about our user groups, all of our programs, our Veeam 100 program, if you want to become a Vanguard Legend, MVP, all of the things community you will find on that platform. So I definitely recommend you to check it out.
It's worth it. Go for it.
Definitely. All right. Any closing words, Kirsten or Lukas?
No, I think that this was a really great session. It's showing you, it basically helps you streamline setting some security baselines in your environment. So it takes a lot of, it takes a lot of work to develop a script like this. And, it just shows you like the power of community. And I think it's pretty awesome. So thanks, Lukas, for, doing this for us.
Yeah, thank you as well. I think this isn't only my personal effort. I think it's a community effort because I gathered feedback and inputs from all around the community, from all around the world. Big shout out to Marcus and Khalid in this place because they tested the script in their environments and got me feedbacks as well. So I'm very happy to help. I'm very happy to help establish security baselines because security is like everywhere and all around. And I think having a standard always helps to improve the overall security, especially when it comes to data resilience with Veeam software.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Lukas. Thank you, Kirsten, for co-hosting and joining us once again on the Veeam 100 show. Thank you to our audience. I know we went a little bit over time. Thank you to our production team, Felicia and Jeff, for all that they do behind the scenes to make this show operate. If you want to stay connected with the community until our next show, again, join us on the Veeam Community Resource Hub, community.veeam.com, and we will be back in just a few weeks for our final show of 2025, which is crazy to say because I feel like it was yesterday when we did the December show last year. But thank you, everyone. And I hope you have a great rest of your week. Bye, all.
Thank you. Bye.